I'm Jacob Courtwright, and this is The Locker Room. Hello, everyone, and welcome into The Locker Room. Today we have a very special guest. You know him from his hilarious work at Barstool Sports. You may know him from his legendary status on the basketball court. You may even know him as the Hall of Fame ball boy for the Indianapolis Colts. Ladies and gentlemen, the original big baller brand himself, the Young Mantis, a.k.a. Mr. Austin Taylor. Welcome to the show, Mr. Austin.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, man, it means the world to me that you were able to come on. I know there's not a lot to do during this whole quarantine, so I'm sure you had some extra time on your hands.
I've had a lot of time on my hands, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, we got a full show today, so we're going to actually just jump right into it. You are such a fascinating person to me at Barstool. You're the reason I got into Barstool, watching your clips on YouTube. So I kind of want to know, clearly your love for sports is there. Where did your love of sports start? You know, maybe from childhood on. And then I kind of want to get into how did you get into Barstool? Because that's a very interesting story. And then where has Barstool led you today?
I think my love for sports came from like pretty generic story. Just like, you know, I grew up in Fishers, Indiana. I've always been around sports, like, you know, either like recess, playing backyard football, basketball, watching Peyton Manning and the 2000 to 2010 Colts play every Sunday. Like, oh my God, we were blessed. We were blessed to have that team. We were very fortunate. Well, I think,
were you sad when he went to Denver and won another Super Bowl?
Yeah, that was very sad. But, you know, we got Andrew Luck out of it, but then we lost Andrew Luck way too early.
Indianapolis has had their hearts ripped out. I'm a Titans fan, but I actually have the Indianapolis Colts winning that division this year and as my sleeper for the Super Bowl.
I say it's a no-brainer about the division. I still think the Chiefs are going to go to the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, it's going to be close. But, yeah, I'm in love with Indy this year. I think you guys got pretty well rounded all the way around. And adding DeForest Buckner, my goodness gracious.
Dude, the defense looks so good on paper. Phillips got a lot of weapons. It all comes down to Phillips and it's going to be 39, I believe.
Yeah. Yep.
I know he's known for, you know, throwing a lot of interceptions, but he's still got a lot of pass yards and stuff. But and then again, Phillips really never had an offensive line like the Colts have now.
This is true.
Great blocking.
If you are an Indianapolis Colts fan, this is your year to definitely gloat in the division. I'm terrified as a Titans fan to get swept this year. But
I think the Colts are like, what, the last since Andrew Luck era? I think 17-1, just the Titans?
Yep.
Yep. Man,
we do not perform well when it comes to the Indianapolis Colts.
I'm going to send you a prayer before I go to bed tonight.
I appreciate that. So, of course, you grew up playing sports just like, you know, any other kid would in the neighborhood. When did you realize that you kind of wanted to do sports as a future and kind of – because I know that you went to college and got I think it was an arts degree, wasn't it?
It pretty much is. It's an online general studies. It is a Bachelor of Arts, but I will say that online general studies is actually worse than dropping out. I'll get into that pathway in a little bit. I'll start with I could never play contact sports. You know, I could play like recreational, but I could never play like join a league or high school and all. Because I was born with this physical condition, and it's called BDS, and the acronym is short for Big Dick Syndrome. And basically, like my cock was so big at birth, and my back gave out. So whenever I walk around, I felt like a little like I'm kind of curved. I'm bent, right? Just the way God made me.
I love how that's the explanation. Oh, that is incredible.
BDS. But there's really the truth behind it. I mean, yeah, I have BDS, but the real thing is like there's undiagnosed means there's no name for the cause or whatever. So it so many doctors when I was a kid, there was really there was similarities of like scoliosis and other spine problems, but it was never a spine problem, never a diagnosed problem. Basically, my main problem is my main muscles muscle nerves do not communicate to my brain to properly use them. So I have everything in the body. I'm limited to my range of motion, speed, physical strength. pretty much everything. It's limited.
Is that why you gravitated towards basketball a lot as a kid, and why you've been such a baller shooter now?
Yeah, I could. I mean, dude, my 40-yard dash like an 11.4 in high school. I think now with doing some personal training back to India, my guy's like a 10.4, so we're making progress.
Okay.
But I remember, I could never do like football, soccer, basketball. I always just shot around in my driveway. I always had a hoop. Yeah. Maybe that's just the Indiana in me. Maybe it's just the shooter mentality in me. But I remember like with my condition, I couldn't shoot with two arms from the 3-point line until I was almost a senior in high school. I always shot one-handed. I would just dribble it, launch it, throw it up, and surprisingly, I was better at shooting one arm than I was with two arms. But now I'm just wherever you want me to shoot, it's all I cash.
Put you on the court?
Yeah, anywhere, limitless.
Now, how did you get into Barstool? And I know that's a very unique situation. So how did you get into Barstool and that whole process and journey leading into it?
With Barstool, so it goes back to junior high and high school. I was always I was a manager for my football team in junior high, manager for my high school football and basketball team. And I wanted to I was trying to get into schools like IU and Ball State with my friends, and I wanted to be an athletic trainer. And I quickly realized that I had a 2.7 GPA in high school. I was not set for that position. So IU denied me, as they should have. Ball State put me on the wait list. So my other options were either become a SoundCloud rapper, go to IUPUI, or go to Indiana State. And I'm not going to Indiana State. That's I don't care. That's a trash-ass school. Trash-butt school, sorry.
You're good.
IUPUI, I was like, it's only 30 minutes away from Fisher. It's not that far. I'll give it a shot. So I went there for exercise science. Still thought I was going to be an athletic trainer. But the second week of school, I got a job offer, or there's a job opening through these emails that we get about there's a ball boy positions opening up for the Colts. Like volunteer to help out in the game days, the day before game day. So with my experience, the manager, I applied for that, got the interview. I think my boss at the time, interviewed 12 people, and he hired me and two others. And so I started ball boying on the weekends. I was working on that, along with being exercise science. But after the first year, I was like, there's no way I'm going to be a trainer. I still like working behind the scenes, and I got this Colts job like really quick. Like I got to go all in. I really enjoyed it. I love behind the scenes in sports. Love being a manager.
Yeah, so, how was being with the Colts? We'll stay on that real quick. Yeah. How was just being able to be on Sundays? I assumed you were on the sidelines, right next to some probably pretty important people. So how was just being on the sidelines and then maybe being in the locker room? And did you have any funny interactions with any of the guys? Were they usually pretty nice or what?
Oh yeah, being behind the scenes on the sideline it's still the coolest experience I've ever had in my life. I loved waking up. Like every weekend, we have to be in the facility at like 7 a.m. to start work. Like every Friday night, I could not go to sleep. I was so excited every day, and I could take melatonin, whatever. Like I was so happy and loved it. Loved every minute, every weekend. But being on the sideline, just watching the games, hearing all the players and coaches, like, you don't always see that on the TV. You see like, they just play for the money and shit, money and stuff and whatever. That's right too. And,
no, you're okay. You're okay.
It's really no experience like it. It was the coolest thing. I love being able to like just work the practices, memorize the players' cleat size, their clothes. I feel like quite a part of the team. I'm actually helping out.
Yeah,
there's a lot of departments awesome. in this team's organization that doesn't get a lot of recognition. Was
it a lot more work than you thought it was going to be?
Oh, it totally was. I think every weekend is a total of like the Colts have 4 head coaching managers. There's only like maybe 3 or 4 season interns, and there's like at least 10 to 15 ball boys that help out on game days and practices. So I just do it for free, but I don't care. I don't care about the money. It's the coolest thing ever. We got free gear, free games. Obviously, sometimes.
Yeah, I was just about to say you get the best seat in the house for game days for sure.
Yeah, we got all the whole experience.
Who was the quarterback when you were ball boying?
It was the first player I met. It was Andrew Luck.
Oh wow!
It was I remember I was taking my first NFL poop in the locker room. I walked out of the stall. I see Andrew. He's like, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm like, "Oh, hey man, from Austin. He's like standing there in the standing piano. Hey, Andrew, nice to meet you.
I heard he's the sweetest guy.
He's the best dude, man. He's obviously I'm biased, one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen, like athletic wise and just skill wise. So imagine if just imagine he had an O line, had Frank Reich and not Pagano. Pagano, a great guy, obviously, really great guy. I had the pleasure of working with him. They really, worked well in Indy with that. But no, Andrew's the man. He's a great guy. I loved Frank Gore. He was one of my favorites. One of the hardest working player I've met in the locker room.
Interesting. He seems so beloved anywhere he goes.
He's so well respected.
Yeah, for how long he's been in the league, you usually see a lot of track record of, this person slipped up, these years or those years. Frank Gore's been one of those players where he really is that role model that a lot of these kids should look up to, because you never hear anything bad. He's always a good teammate and he's always producing.
So I could say so many great things about him. I'm so happy he's still playing. He's playing New York right now with the Jets. But that dude, he's like a locker room veteran, locker room legend. Just everyone respects him. He plays his heart out every practice, every snap, every game.
That is awesome. All right, so you're leading into you get the job as the ball boy for the Indianapolis Colts and equipment manager. So lead me out of that. Where do we go from the Colts, and then how do you get to where you are today?
So after my second year being a ball boy, that was the same year that Pat McAfee retired. Okay. And so he opened up Barstool Indy, because he joined Barstool Sports right after. He announced on Comedy Central. And he put out a call-in of, you want to be my intern? Tell me why. Send me a funny video. Pretty much prove yourself. Show yourself. So I made a little, minute video. It was actually terrible. I was surprised he picked me, but I think he gave me an advantage. I helped him for a couple of years. But yeah. When the interviews came around, he interviewed 60 people in one day. I think it was 60 us in the basement. He was showing it one by one. It was a long day. It was, oh my God. But him, Tom McComas, Nick and Diggs interviewed me. They were sitting in a chair, and then I was I was funny that day. I was funny for that 2 minutes, and they were sold on it. So I got a day 2 call, and then we did a little. No, I did not throw the BDS. On day 2 of the interview, I did the BDS joke, but no one saw it coming. And I was funny that day, so Pat hired me on the spot along with 25 others interns. Wow. And then with that, we spent the summer just pretty much trying to figure out our brand. I would do some a Ref Daddy video that did well. I talked about my BDS, did this Tommy John commercial video. I think all in all, I did 3 videos, which is not a lot for us. Actually, I'm surprised that I did that much. But I was also working too, part time at I think LA Fitness and LA Fitness it was an unpaid internship. Okay. So they're making videos for Pat, or I'm just working at LA front desk, just checking out all the meatheads and the hot moms and all that. Missed that job. Anyway, so with that, after the internship ended, I'm going into my junior year at IUPUI, where I'm doing sports management now, not exercise side. I switched. And Pat told us, hey, thanks for helping out. Stay in touch. Let me know if you need anything. Try and work, whatever. Again, any video, send it to us. So I made my own YouTube and Twitter. I started making I had my Twitter. Made a YouTube. I started doing stand-up. Started doing weekly man on the street videos once a week. And then I started to dig in more into IUPUI videos and stuff, jokes. I was building my demographic and fan base from IUPUI to make it more relatable. The school, IUPUI, man, it's a heck of a school. It's IUPUI where your dreams die. That's what I call it. Once you're in the jungle, you gotta make it out with that degree or whatever. But I started doing IUPUI basketball. It's a joke. No one takes it seriously. So I did a man on the street video of going to the game. It was it's a stadium. It's I don't know, 15,000 seats, maybe 100 go each game. It's just depressing. So I made a mockery out of that. It was pretty fun. People like that. So I did more of that. Some downtown videos, Indy 500 videos, an LGBTQ Pride Parade video, indie stuff.
Interesting.
So from doing that, by the time that was all, I was doing all that, Barstool put out a thing called Barstool Idol, which, remember, Francis Ellis won season 1, and they were doing season 2. So my friend sent me DMs, hey, you should do this. I'm like, oh, yeah, man, I'll give it a shot. made a montage. Out of 5,000 people that applied,